Weekend, really looking forward to it. I don't know about you, but this has been quite the long week, and with our brand new show from 7 to 8 o'clock, getting that under our belts and getting ready to go for a lot of other stuff we have planned here at News 12. It has been quite the week, and really looking forward to some time off for the weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. I am live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, USA. Looking forward also to the Orionid Meteor Shower coming up this weekend. It'll be peaking tonight into tomorrow morning, and again as we go from Saturday night into Sunday morning. So we'll see a little bit better conditions out there for the weekend as we get into some drier and less windy conditions. We have another front on the way. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. We've got a lot to talk about as we go into the weekend. It is just right now, right at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday night. A lot of people out and about for Friday night football or whatever else is going on out there. It's a beautiful Friday evening. Rain is gone. Little, if anything, expected out of the way of showers or thunderstorms anytime soon. That's great news for outdoor activities. Not quite so great news as we go into the next several days when it comes to wildfire potential. We did manage to get a little bit of rain yesterday. We'll take a look at the almanac page coming up here in just a little bit. Likewise, if you're heading out the door to catch a fish, play some golf, do whatever this weekend, it is going to be a little breezy. So with the passing game tonight for Friday night football, probably causing some problems with those winds out there. We'll take a look and see what we've got going on. Let's go ahead and hop into what's happening locally with rainfall. Not much of anything happening at 10 o'clock Eastern. Light scattered showers just east of the News 12 viewing area. So as of right now, getting the heaviest activity into western North Carolina, east of Bryson City and right around Asheville, heading down I-85 toward Greenville. Really not much more than that at this point. We're going to continue again to see the potential for rain in the semi-near future, but we just don't have much of anything here. You can see a lot of the activity off the east coast now as that front makes its way a little farther to the east, and nothing going on back to the west. And our next front, which is way up here, a few sprinkles over toward the arrowhead of Minnesota and the western Great Lakes. Beyond that, it's very much on the dry side. We'll take a look at the weather forecast and the current conditions out there in just a little bit, so stay tuned for more on that. Outstanding in his field, Max Ross from the Decatur Farm area, Meigs County, a bald eagle caught in very stately repose on top of a branch of a tree. That's our West Shore Home weather window picture of the day. Thank you very much, Mr. Max, for a beautiful view there. Got pictures? Send them in to us. Pictures at wdef.com/weather. WDEF.com, sorry. Again, Friday, it's been kind of a long week here. Drop into the comments section on our Facebook page, Instagram, or X if you'd like to be able to just drop in there, give us a description of what you saw. You can be anonymous if you want to, but we'd love to tell everybody on social media what you were looking at and where, if you can include that. It's nice when you send the pictures in, but with no description at all. It's a little bit on the difficult side there to tell people what exactly they might have been looking at. For the almanac page, again, very close to where we should be for this time of the year on temperatures. Last night, we picked up a quarter of an inch of rain, just shy of that, and now we are no longer jockeying for tying the month of October as the driest October on record for Chattanooga. We were very close to that, only getting 0.08 of an inch, which in 2016, that was the driest number that we could possibly have gotten. Didn't get any worse than that. Again, we were coming close to that, but last night's rain, and it was a beautiful couple of thunderstorms coming on through. We are now only 2 inches behind for the month. We were way behind. We only got a fraction of an inch, about 2/10 less for the entire month of September. So we are very dry, 5.5 inches behind normal for the year. We could definitely use a lot more there. Also, in this month, around the time frame of today, the record high was set back in 2016 of 89 degrees, very close to around 90 degrees. We can still get up that direction at this time of the year. So thankful for the rain, but we could use a lot more than what we've picked up there. Island Cove, decently clear and dry for tonight. Should be good stargazing again for the Orionid Meteor Shower. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. Bailey's Heating and Air Camera, crescent moon, almost the half moon, if I'm not mistaken, or quarter moon, I should say. Looking back toward Lookout Mountain, and very quiet and dry over the downtown area and Lookout Mountain for this evening. Excuse me a second, my mouse is playing havoc here. Lee Point, moon coming into view at the top of the screen, Plainview outdoor advertising camera, and traffic moving along nicely at 64 and 153 for tonight. Chattanooga Red Wolf Stadium on the Tomahawk crane and rigging camera, traffic heavy for a Friday night, but moving along pretty well. Chattanooga Theater Center camera from Speedy's Total Car Care, overlooking the Tennessee River as it flows between the North Shore and downtown Chattanooga. Beautiful night tonight. You can just barely see the moon over there by the top of the trees. And last but not least, wanted to show you this camera to make sure everybody was paying attention, because in this location, into this weekend, there's a lot of traffic problems with construction going on. The Patriot Concrete camera, by the way, I-24 moving along in both directions just fine. To go eastbound from State Highway 27, coming back in from that direction, coming in from the north past downtown and going east, you have to route off onto Broad Street, go across Broad Street, and get back on the interstate. This is traffic coming in from I-24 back to the west around Moccasin Bend and Lookout Mountain. That, again, is okay, but the area for that entry point where 27 becomes 24, that's where a lot of constructions are going to be going on this weekend. So this area, if you're heading through downtown, pay attention to your traffic apps and what's going on ahead of you. You may have to take an alternate route somehow just to be on the safe side, or risk getting stuck in possibly some very heavy traffic at this location. Again, this is I-24 going through downtown Chattanooga and back over here just southwest of downtown, just southwest where 24 meets 27. That's going to be an area where we could see quite a lot of backups taking place and some slow traffic throughout the entire weekend. So please keep that in mind if you are going to be traveling out there. And thanks to all of our sponsors for sponsoring these cameras. Much of what we're seeing tonight is, again, some very mild numbers. After sunset, temperatures dropped off decently well. Winds have died down a little bit, but it's still a bit breezy, so not too totally terrible out there. But we could continue to see a few areas of clouds drifting on through. Beyond that, I think we should be okay for the rest of the evening. Our cold front has moved its way all the way over to the East Coast. Scattered showers up around Johnson City, Bristol, into around eastern Kentucky. Not much of anything going on there, but with this front heading its way offshore, there's a lot of showers. This basically is going to become a nor'easter. It's a storm that rolls up the East Coast, and the spin can bring a lot of cold air down from Canada, mix it with a lot of warm, moist air from the Gulf. We could be looking at a lot of rain and quite possibly some snow in the upper elevations of parts of New England. So this storm system could be a problem for travel tonight into tomorrow. If you're heading anywhere north of D.C., Boston, New York, anywhere all around Albany, Philadelphia, could be looking at some travel slowdowns there. Now, beyond that, for us here, that storm system is moving away from us going up to the north. We've got a little bit of an area here where we're not going to be seeing too much of anything going on. That is going to be our dry air coming up, high pressure pushing some warmer air our direction with that warm front, and then this cold front sinks on down to the south. As it does, we'll be seeing a cool burst for Sunday. That'll really help to keep the temperatures pleasant. We're looking at a beautiful weekend coming up, but this front is not going to have any moisture with it whatsoever, maybe a few clouds, and that's about it. Should mention really quick, Norma, as it heads a little bit closer up the Gulf of Baja, it's probably going to take a right-hand turn and might head its way out over the Gulf of Mexico if going over the mountains of Mexico don't shred this storm. It's a major hurricane right now sitting just off the coast of Mexico, but we're also seeing the storm possibly taking that trip over over Mexico, the Rio Grande, and into the Gulf. So we could see maybe some activity out of this here in the Chattanooga area. We'll watch that through the weekend to let you know what's going on. But for right now, I think it's going to be fairly quiet. This is going to stick to the Gulf. If it makes its way over here, we'll see what happens into next week. But right now, this is still several days away from really affecting our forecast out across much of the region. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on the next 48 hours. Early Saturday morning, lower 40s to lower 50s, mostly clear skies. Very nice for Saturday if we get enough sunshine. Normal at this time of the year, mid-70s. We're probably going to be a little bit above that with numbers back in the high 70s to lower 80s. Cool again for Sunday morning, back in the mid-50s. And then a beautiful, let's back that up just a bit, for Sunday afternoon. Looks like lower 70s to upper 60s is going to be about as much as we get. And again, plenty of sunshine, a few clouds down toward Alabama and Mississippi, but outside of that, really just not really looking at too much of anything. Now, in the next several days, I want to go out a little bit farther than what we've been seeing here. Let me get to the supercast here real quick, and we'll go even farther. We'll be looking toward, again, all this next week, just really nothing going on. Timestamp up here. This storm system, the next one coming through, may be aided by what's left of Norma crossing Mexico. This could give a little bit more moisture heading up from the Gulf, and that's where our next chance of showers is going to be winding up on the forecast page. But for right now, this is something that is what we're going to be taking a look at here. This next chance of rain is better part of 10 days out. That's a lot of days ahead of us without anything in the way of rainfall coming on through, and that means I fear more wildfire danger coming up. Now, the good news about this is, yes, it is some rainfall. Extra good news, this is going to be happening Monday. Beyond this, out to the west of us, there's dry air coming through, maybe some cooler air, but importantly, for the ghosts and goblins getting the trick-or-treat costumes ready to go, I think Halloween should be good for next Tuesday night, not this coming Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. So for right now, the long range is giving us some very good news for trick-or-treating on Tuesday next. But we'll be seeing, again, some chances of rain with this system. And again, I just don't see too much of anything out there in the way of rainfall. Now, concentrating on the negatives for a minute, we just got this updated from the United States Drought Monitor from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and the University of North Carolina. The Drought Monitor is showing a large, expansive area of severe drought situations. It was a very small area not too long ago, just right over the Tennessee River Valley and parts of the News 12 viewing area. That has now expanded to all of this, from Little Rock all the way back to where we are in northwest Georgia, basically the northern third of Alabama, and all of southern Tennessee along those state lines there. What does this mean? It means that we are looking at some drier, dustier conditions overall. Now, if we get some more rainfall by next Thursday when this map gets updated, we might see some improvement in the map to where we won't see quite as much severe drought situation, but it's going to take a decent amount of rainfall, and by next Thursday, I don't know how much rain we got last night, Thursday night into Friday morning, is going to affect this map too much. I doubt it's going to do too much. Hopefully we'll see some improvement, but for right now, don't see a lot of anything really changing for the time being. So the main thing to take away from this is going to be affecting things like agriculture, especially when it comes to things like fire burn-offs. At this time of the year, there's a lot of fields. Stubble needs to be gotten rid of, and we've got numerous areas of spot fires detected by satellites in the last 24 hours. The brightest red is within the last 6 hours to about the last 6 to 12 hours or so. Notice this area here over Arkansas and Missouri. There's a lot of rice fields here, so a lot of burning takes place at this time of the year. Air quality goes downhill, and a good 20-25% of this is agricultural burn-off. So a lot of the other dots on here are not. They are true wildfires popping up at various points in time. bulk of which today are well back to our west. Why is that? Well, because we got the rain coming through here last night, so that kind of cooled some things off and dampened some of the fires that were popping up around here. But with a dry week ahead of us, we may be seeing a lot more wildfires coming up into the course of the next several days. Now, this was issued earlier today from the Chattanooga-Hamilton County Air Pollution Control Bureau. You can visit their website at apcb.org or search them out on social media. Tonight, the 20th, 21st, Saturday, no burning allowed due to windy conditions, and those breezes will continue throughout the rest of the weekend. So we'll be seeing, or at least through Saturday anyway, as we get into the area around Sunday, things improve by just a little bit, and we will see less in the way of winds. So the APC board and Hamilton County Emergency Management is showing that if any burning is going on Sunday, that's okay as long as you have a valid permit and only between the hours of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They're also asking everybody in the area that if you see illegal burning taking place or anything that looks like a wildfire starting up, call them. The number, again, you can get through social media, but here it is 423-643-5970. Or again, you can search them out online for more details for their daily report on that. But this is for Hamilton County, Chattanooga City proper for the most part only. But that is where we see, again, the potential for the worst of the worst. Northeast Alabama under a fire alert, according to the Alabama Forestry Division. And that is for mainly, again, just it's not total ban for fire, but certain types of outdoor burning are prohibited. Same thing in Georgia. Tennessee does not have a burn ban in effect per se, but again, you have to have a permit for certain fires, and you have to notice the local community. You have to make certain the fire department knows what's going on. You can find out more through the State of Tennessee website for more details on that, but please be very cautious with anything involving fire or flame into this weekend. All right, 7-day forecast real quick. We'll be seeing some very nice numbers all the way around. Outdoor activities in the next week look pretty good all the way into next week. We had some showers toward next Friday. Not seeing that here. Not getting any possibility of rainfall anytime soon. We see temperatures dip into Sunday with that cold front dropping on through, and the numbers stabilize. They rise a little bit every single day through about next Friday. Next Friday night, I wish I could talk tonight, it's going to be seeing very mild, and I think the rain should stay away. Something's really got to change in the atmosphere to give us a good amount of soaking coming through, and we're just not seeing that pattern heading our direction at some point. So this is going to be dry. A few more clouds by Friday night. That should pretty much be it. So Friday night football next week looks good. Likewise, the last weekend of October, where's the time gone? It looks to be very quiet and very dry there too. Maybe some showers again toward the end of next weekend, not this weekend. A little windy, but then we see that storm system causing the wind move off, to the east of us. And that means some dry and cooler conditions for Sunday, and then a general rise, but only a few degrees as we go into around next week. How about the tropics? What's going on there? We do have a few things to talk about. We told you about Norma earlier. We now have a system down into and around the Bay of Campeche, way on down to around Central America. This system, according to the National Hurricane Center, let me just double check to see that nothing has changed at this time. The last time I saw it, it was, now 10% development next 48 hours, 20% development through about the next week or so. Where was this going? It looks like a due west. Fortunate for us that it's not going anywhere else. No further development expected after that time frame. So as this runs across the mountains of Central America, looks like there's really not going to be too much to worry about with this particular system. Again, we still have about a month and 10 days to go in hurricane season. We need to watch that carefully. Now, Tammy is back down to Category 1. It's just barely a hurricane at 75 miles an hour. The spaghetti model plots taking this storm back up to around just south of Bermuda and then taking a right-hand turn out into the Atlantic. This also does not look to be giving us any concern for landfall. Hispaniola, the Leeward Islands, parts of the Virgin Islands, and the Bahamas might see some effects out of this, but I think most of this is going to take that dog leg up and going away from the area, heading out into the ocean, and then only just a fish storm, only bothering the fish. So I don't see much of anything coming in here to really bother us anytime soon. So definitely some good news there, but we could use a leftover tropical system, to be honest, to give us the potential of some of that rainfall to help get us undry for a while. Don't forget tomorrow, if you'd like to know more about hurricanes, National Weather Service in Nashville holding Weather 101. You can tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern at the National Weather Service Nashville. Go to weather.gov, click on the map to click on the area covered by Nashville by the National Weather Service, and then you can find out more by looking at the Weather 101 page. You can ask questions with the meteorologist afterwards. Really cool to have this amount of weather education coming out from the National Weather Service. Didn't have stuff like this when I was a kid, I'll tell you that much. So really neat to be able to see that. Good opportunity to ask questions of meteorologists about tropical weather, the forecast coming up, things like that. Astronomical, again, we told you about the meteor shower, and you can find out more on our social media pages. The University of Tennessee Chattanooga Sunday night will be holding a star party at the observatory on 10 North Tuxedo Avenue. The topic for the lecture will be volcanoes in the solar system. The gates open at 6:30. The lecture and the planetarium show get underway at 7, and telescope viewing will be available until 9 o'clock. If you'd like to know more, go to their Facebook page at facebook.com/UTC Jones Observatory, or go to utc.edu and search Jones Observatory or Star Party to find out more there. NOAA issued their winter forecast. Primarily, again, this is issued for agriculture, farmers, transportation industry, future, things like that. But it's really cool to take a look at to see what the forecast is calling for as we go into the next several months. Now, again, we seem to be tending toward the possibility of a little bit more moisture from December, January, February. But again, that's just the initial forecast. This will change in the next few months as we get closer and closer to the winter season. But for right now, that's not bad, and that's only precipitation. I did not do a graphic here about temperatures. You'll have to go to the website for more on that, and you can get there by going to NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.gov for more details and tons more information, again, about that. If you like to get some culture out there and you don't want to go to a football game or don't want to, again, traipse around the woods too much, Shakespeare and English literature always been one of my favorite things. And the Scenic City Shakespeare Company holding, and I wish I would have known about this sooner, but unfortunately been rather busy around here. They're going to be performing The Winter's Tale Fridays and Saturdays through October. There's one show going on tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to do a forecast for that. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. at Greenway Farm. You'll be able to take in this amazing work by Shakespeare. It's going to be breezy, and this is, again, an outdoor performance, so you want to make sure that you're bundled up. It will be mild, but those winds are going to be about 20 miles per hour, so could be, forsooth, a little bit on the windy side as you go into evening. Again, mostly clear, so looking pretty good there. More information, again, at sceniccityshakespeare.org. Great opportunity to get some English lit and culture in before it gets too cold to do anything outdoors. Admission is free, but reservations are required. Space is also limited, so this will fill up quickly, and you have to get in to get tickets for this. Bring your outdoor chairs. Seating is not provided on this, so you got to bring along your seat. And again, to get a seat and reserve your spot at sceniccityshakespeare.org, again, for Saturday night. Great opportunity to learn more. One of my favorite authors on there, and the plays that he produced and everything else that went into it. And nice to see this. The Tennessee Shakespeare Company over in Memphis did some really great shows, working with kids a lot. to talk about theater and drama and presentation and stuff like that. But sceniccityshakespeare.org if you'd like to learn a little bit more about what's going on there. Decently quiet over the weekend. If you're a teacher or an administrator, go ahead and fill out the form if you'd like one of our weather experts to appear in your classroom. Go to wdef.com on the Food City Weather in the Classroom program. Fill out the form. If you'd like to know how to program your weather radio, go to wdef.com/weather, and we've got a video there that can help you understand how to program a weather radio. Very cool to be able to have that on there. I think that's, let's see, one more scroll through. I don't think I'm forgetting anything here. We talked about burn bans. We talked about rain chances, air quality, weather picture of the day, almanac. Yeah, I think that's, well, let's see. Let's do one more. Heading out for some fishing, outdoor activity, hiking, whatever. It'll be windy and it'll be chilly in the morning, but it will be kind of breezy out there as those winds switch around to the northwest. Excuse me, as that next front decides to come on through. So an average day for catching a fish there. Heading out for a round of golf into tomorrow. Watch out for those gophers. They can be a little bit on the pesky side. Otherwise, looking at very windy conditions, so a slice or a hook, that could be a bit of an issue. But a beautiful day otherwise for getting out and about on Saturday. That, I think, should do it. I think we've covered pretty much everything for tonight. Again, if you've got weather pictures, please send them in to us. We would love to be able to see what you're seeing out there. Send them in to us at pictures@wdef.com. The latest edition, now what we're recording here, that'll be posted on our website, wdef.com/weather, so you can see to catch up on the repeat performance there. And, of course, we'll have more coming up tonight on News 12 at 11. We'll have meteorologist Todd Heislip this weekend, Saturday and Sunday at 11 o'clock with his complete forecast update. And Chip Chapman will be back bright and early on Monday morning, so stay tuned for more there. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen and Onek. This has been Weather Overtime for Friday evening, the 20th of October. Time flying entirely too fast. October is one of my favorite months, and it goes way too quickly in my opinion. We'll have more again through this weekend. Check out the forecast again at wdef.com/weather. Hope you have a great, safe, happy weekend. Remember, as Sergeant Phil used to say, let's be careful out there. And we'll see you again on Weather Overtime coming up Monday evening, the 23rd. Time is flying, so we'll get a little bit more before October runs out there. Thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend and a safe one, and we'll see you back here in a couple of days.